Time now for a look at that big picture here. It's almost 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon, May 23rd, 2014. And the big story right now is this plume of moisture right here. This is the water vapor imagery across the central part of the United States. This is moisture in the upper levels of the atmosphere, which is also a good indicator of showers and thunderstorms across Texas, Oklahoma, and up into Kansas. And the reason for that is this swirly pattern out here, and this is the reason why we look at the water vapor imagery, is to find these upper level disturbances. Areas of low pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere as this thing sits over the desert southwest and spins its wheels, brings up a lot of moisture and instability in the central plains right now. So continued unsettled there in the central part of the United States through Saturday as this area of showers and thunderstorms will prevail. And it looks like another system trying to move into the Pacific Northwest, which will bring them some clouds and some rain as well, and maybe even a little bit of relief as there's been some warm temperatures here in Washington, and there could be finally a shift from that coming our way. Their way, I should say. Coming our way was a disturbance moving across the Appalachian Mountains and southeastward across North Carolina. In fact, there's a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for eastern Carolina right now. I believe it might even extend down into South Carolina, but just into the border, including the beach areas here this afternoon. So be mindful of the situation developing there and keep an eye to the sky. Drying out here across the Pennsylvania area, although there is a disturbance that looks like it's moving across Pennsylvania once again today, which could spark some more severe. However, that might be just limited since all the moisture was kind of used up yesterday, and this is looks like it could be a dry disturbance moving across Pennsylvania right now. Let's take a look at the national surface map. In fact, that disturbance is bringing some showers and thunderstorms with it to New England area, including the state of New York, and it's even showing up a little bit here on the surface analysis. The disturbance moving from the south, from the northwest to the southeast across North Carolina is showing up on the surface map analysis as well. In fact, let me show that to you right here. This is the disturbance that's responsible for causing some possible severe storms in eastern North Carolina right here today. And in fact, the watch box actually does extend down into South Carolina as this blue outline is including the coastal regions. So be mindful of these possible severe thunderstorm conditions earlier today. This is a disturbance. This is what it looks like here on SPC's website, and all the action is typically on the right side of these disturbances, which is why the the Storm Prediction Center issued the severe watch today. So what does this mean? Let's jump through this real quick here and not use up a whole lot of your time to explain what happens this week here. The disturbance out here, this little bowling ball out here, moves through the actually kind of sits there and it just barely gets its act together as it is Saturday evening. Could bring some severe here in the central part of the plains Friday night and during the day on Saturday. And then it looks like on Monday that thing is very, very slow to move out, and it looks like it just kind of sits there over the central plains through Monday night into Tuesday as well. And it looks like a ridge is trying to build across this whole thing. This is a lot of output here for convection, which is what we call autoconvective. All it takes is a little trigger, and this model just goes berserk and puts out all kinds of precipitation here. But we should remain dry throughout next week across here in Charlotte. And then it looks like that disturbance just kind of fizzles out there over Arkansas and Louisiana and eastern Texas, and it just kind of disappears. The other big story here on Thursday is going to be the area of low pressure up here in New England, keeping them a little cooler than usual, and also some relief coming to the Pacific Northwest as we head on into the week here. Actually, looks like they can start seeing some relief as early as Tuesday as that upper disturbance crashes on shore, and could bring some wet weather up there, and maybe even some thunderstorms as well, because that's a pretty good disturbance moving there into the Pacific Northwest. The other story is later in the week here, Thursday into Friday, it looks like a ridge here builds across the central part of the United States, which means they could get hot very, very quick. So out here in the central plains, later in the week, later next week, Thursday, Friday, looks like it's you're able to sweat pretty quickly after you go outside because it's going to be a pretty strong area of high pressure here, which is going to be warm Thursday and Friday next week, the 29th and the 30th. And then it looks like heading into next weekend, this is a long shot. Still looks like the upper Midwest, the whole Midwest actually is really, really hot, a lot hotter than usual. The heat wave is going to be building out there. And for us here in Charlotte, looks like we could be getting into the beginnings of a pattern where we could start seeing some thunderstorms late next week, especially into Saturday. Other than that, looks pretty quiet for us across Charlotte. This is all autoconvective. This is all just model feedback. doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. So if you're heading to New England and the Pacific Northwest at all this coming week on a business trip, it could be a little turbulent, a little bit rough, cooler than usual. Other than that, not a whole big deal and not a whole lot of big headlines other than some severe this weekend possible in the Central Plains, as that will be the action spot for the weather over the next week. Thanks a lot for watching The Big Picture, and have yourselves a great holiday weekend, everybody.